Bonjour, aujourd'hui je suis à Lisbonne et on intervient avec le réseau XP pour parler de la vidéo. Hello, here I am on stage in Lisbon with 250 leaders of XP Realty. And we share advice, tips about performing with video.
Armando, how are you?
Good to be here. Thank you everybody for showing up, at least. My name is Armando Sacco. I am in Italy. I am a realtor since 1991. I had experienced this for 7 years in the Canadian market, as I was an active realtor in Toronto. But then when I moved back to Italy in 2020, I was kind of lost because I had missed that Canadian and North American way of doing business, which is really structured, and they have the blessing of having an MLS system countrywide. So when I got contacted by EXP, it was a no-brainer. Just jumped in right away. EXP got in Italy in March 2021, and I joined in May 2021. So I just accomplished my 3rd year with EXP, starting the 4th one, and the future, the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I've seen lots of your videos on Insta and stuff like that, so it'd be good to hear a little bit about that. You know, why.
I will happily share my experience.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm not going to really go over myself. I'm here just to sort of prompt these guys in terms of what they can offer to help you with in terms of lead generation. So we're just going to delve straight into the questions. Armando.
Yes.
You've been very successful in building a TikTok following with videos reaching a significant portion of your target audience. Can you share with us how you first came around that idea of starting the business that way and how you go about it?
Yes, thank you for the question. By the way, I put down some notes just to make sure I don't forget anything. So the first video came out basically from a rather unexpected encounter. I was showing a property to one of my buyers, and when I was just about approaching my car, a bystander stopped me and said, "You realtors are useless." So I could have, dismissed the comment, but then I said, no, let's dig more. So I wanted to hear from the gentleman. I said, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe we are useless. I'm sure you're good at putting the price to your own home, aren't you? Maybe you underprice it and leave some money on the table. You never know. Maybe you're good going through all the paperwork that it takes, zoning requirements, the freehold, leasehold, lien on the properties, all the regulations that you have to meet now with power, with energy efficiency. I said, you're good at that too, aren't you? And I said, maybe third, you're even good at negotiating. I'm in the business 33 years now. I maybe negotiated, more than 1,000 negotiations, some successful and some not. I said, I'm sure you are more skilled than myself. Isn't that right? So he kind of acknowledged. He said, well, I see your point. So basically, he got me to an epiphany. I got to understand by that comment, there's a lot of myths going around, and that us realtors do basically nothing, just, and the TV shows are helping this myth to grow. They show our glamorous agents showing glamorous homes and happily walking to the bank to cash the commission check. But I realized quite soon, and maybe you guys know, I'm going to tell you something. We're doing a hard job. Our job is hard. It's not easy. There are so many aspects to take care of. And when in Canada, obviously we would be, by the rules, had to not tap into any other's professional's field, so we could not give tax advice, we could not give legal advice, so on and so forth. But now that I'm back in Italy, the audience expects the agent to be the point of reference for any kind of subject that comes up. And so that encounter told me that, maybe we have to put out there what we do behind the scenes. Not everybody knows what we go through, what we actually do. And so that was the first video. And funny enough, it is still on my TikTok, because I then chose TikTok as a media. And I immediately got some comments and resonated with people. Some were nice comments, some other ones were a little bit less nice. But then I said, you know what, let's focus on the ugly comments. and see how we can just, respond to those objections. And those spurred other videos that brought me to understand that through the videos that I do, I basically embrace the rule of the 3E. I'm not too sure, everybody knows, it was said like just before me by the other panelists. I have to engage the audience, I have to educate the audience, and obviously I try to throw in something funny and entertain them. So even if the topic might be annoying, like paperwork or zoning requirements, if you put it in a way that you catch people's attention, maybe they'll follow you, and basically the comments that I get into the private DM, the DM messages are awesome. So that's what I would say.
No, thank you. And I obviously, since working with these guys over the last couple of years, the time each week to create TikTok content, what inspired you to start making the videos, and how do you see the strategy evolving to drive lead generation in the future? What advice would you give also, when we talk, this is a lot about video, some people are, I was certainly hesitant about video initially, and it doesn't always have to be a Hollywood production, but what advice would you give to people hesitant to embrace video?
Okay, so basically there are 2 questions. I'll try to do my best to answer. And yes, I do resonate with what Christophe and Carlos said about the different platforms. And I do look at the analytics all of the time. And a myth that I had to kind of rethink was about TikTok. So everybody says, oh, TikTok is just young guns, young kids, they're not interested in buying houses. Well, but when I pulled up some analytics about some of my videos, the one that got most attention, I could see that 76% of my viewers were 45 and above. So as an agent yesterday pointed at me, he said, this group is your buyers and this group are your sellers. So it is in target. So let's not, take myths for granted. Sometimes, we need to work around it. To come to your question, so why? I touched that a bit. It was basically the desire to educate. I'm not too sure if I had this educational Armando in me. I like to help people understand with simple words. And sometimes I explain even laws like with simple words, because it's useless that we hide behind, the fancy, the lingo of the industry, where then people don't understand us. And basically, combined with the power of storytelling, showcasing the property or explaining some loopholes or legal requirements, or just building relationship. We're basically we're humanizing who us agents are. We have a social role, which is the one to accompany people in a pretty delicate transition. Sometimes it's the biggest asset they have.
Absolutely.
And most of the time when they call the agent, it's because they either getting married, divorcing, upsizing, downsizing, somebody passed away. So there is already in that family or in that person that's calling you some tension. And if we bring more tension to the table, guess what? It becomes ugly.
We do it daily, but they only do it.
Exactly, but they don't know it.
Yeah.
So it is our responsibility to get out there and to educate our crowd, our people, our buyers, our sellers. And we all know that we do live in the attention economy. They had done a study, like while we're here talking, there's always somebody doing a study. They've done a study that every person in this room, on a daily basis, is exposed to something like 6,000 to 10,000 advertisements daily. So basically, we are living in the attention economy. So everybody is looking for our attention, and we are looking for people's attention. And therefore, getting out there where people are, these days they're not buying the newspapers anymore and reading ads with the magnifying lens, they're on the phones. And so a little bit differently than what Christophe and Carlos said, I just put it out there on all platforms. There is a video that on TikTok did just 9,000 views, that on Facebook got 410,000 views. The same video, not repurposed, not repolished, nothing. So basically just get out there, put out your message, be authentic, And this comes to the second part of the question, my advice. My advice would be just to be creative, informative, entertaining, and that would put yourselves as knowledgeable, trustworthy. And we all know that when people trust you, they'll do business with you. And if you do business, you maybe make more money. What the future... Thank you.
So we're learning from others, we're watching what other people do, but we're providing our own authentic content.
Yes, and just tapping into what was said this morning during the AI panel, now I'm thinking about, for the future adding like a multi-language strategy.
Yeah.
I am transforming one of my TikTok accounts into English only, and I would probably put a Japanese one, who knows? And one last thing I would like to say is that we put stuff out there. And obviously I'm targeting sellers, mainly buyers. In Italy we don't have an MLS, but I would lovely help them out. But the byproduct of all of this is having agents filling my direct message box saying, Armando, your videos are awesome, you look like an actor, we love it, I wish I had the guts. How do you do it? And guess what? That is the perfect lead you want to do EXP expansion. So that is what you just get for free. So my advice is start doing your video today. Put it out, record anything, tell everybody you're here in Lisbon at this beautiful event, that you are people from all over the world, and just put it out there. You'll see that the results are going to be amazing. And as I would want to do a little line that Gary Vee says all the time, best known beats the best. So the best known agent beats the best agent. Put it out there.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Armando. Brilliant. Just one time for a quick